Hello, this is cjhoyle. Today is Sunday, June the 6th, 2021. And back there behind me you can see my 1992 Iowa linear recumbent bike with my kayak attached to the back of it on my bike trailer. My plan for today is to tow the kayak down to Lake Ontario, and from there I'm going to attempt to paddle up the Lower Don River, which is something I've never done before. Alright, so about 9 kilometers later now, and I've arrived in one piece here at Cherry Beach, which is going to be my launch point. So I need to unload this kayak and lock up my bike in the trailer so I can begin my adventures on the water. Alright, as you can see, I've got my kayak unloaded down here on the beach. So now all I need to do is get in there and start paddling. Alright, so here I am in the water, and that shore that you can see over there is the Leslie Street Spit, or Tommy Thompson Park. And over that way, the land you can see sort of beyond this peninsula is Toronto Islands, and that's the direction where I'm going to be going, because I'm going to be heading from out here in the Outer Harbour into the Inner Harbour, which will lead me to the mouth of the Don River, which is called the Keating Channel. Lots of people out enjoying the beach on this sunny Sunday, and this area over here is actually an off-leash dog park, or dog beach. That's why you can see so many furry friends running around. So looking back that way is Cherry Beach, where I got things started, and I've now paddled out to the end of the Portlands to reach the eastern channel here into the Toronto Harbour, and like I said before, that land over there is Center Island. Here on the channel I can see some big barges. That one on the left has some big long holes in it. I'm not exactly sure what those are for, but I'll be paddling right past those as I make my way here along the eastern shore. So it seems to be kind of choppy down towards this end of the harbour, but it should be a lot calmer where I'm heading. But while we're here, we might as well enjoy the nice scenery of the Toronto skyline. Over there now to the right is the Portlands shipping channel, which goes almost all the way to Leslie Street, and it's where big ships will dock to serve the industry down here in the Portlands. So over here to my right now is Polson Pier, and that building there is a nightclub called Rebel, which is also a concert venue. It used to be known as the Sound Academy, and I've seen 2 concerts there over the years. So I've now reached the next channel into the Portlands, and in the future, to get to the Don River, you'll be able to paddle down this channel here, because this land over to the left is being transformed into an island in the coming years, which will be called Villiers Island, and you'll be able to paddle this way, which will be the new mouth of the Don River. But until then, the Keating Channel over here is the only way to get into the Don, which is where I'm heading. And I should mention, from here on out, this is all going to be new territory for me. I've certainly ridden my bike up along beside the Don River many times, but I've never been in the waters of it, so I'm really looking forward to this. And here we can see the new Cherry Street Bridge, which was brought here back in November. It was manufactured in the Netherlands, and it was welded together in Halifax area, and then they floated it down the St. Lawrence Seaway to be here, and it's going to be one of 6 bridges that should all look pretty similar to this, which will connect the mainland to that new Villiers Island over there. The bridge isn't open yet, but you can see that some people have already taken the liberty to add some graffiti to it. Ah, interesting. So it looks like up there you can see there's a concrete deck, and over here you can see some wooden concrete forms. So my guess is that the bridge was shipped without the decks poured yet, and to save some weight they poured them after it arrived here. So this here is the existing Cherry Street Bridge, which is a drawbridge, but as far as I know, as soon as the new one goes into operation, they're going to get rid of this one here. So under the bridge here you can see there's a log chain which is floating along the surface, and as far as I know, that's there to keep debris from floating down this channel and clogging it up. So I'll have to get my kayak up and over those logs. Alright, so I've made it over here to the other side now, and I was able to get over those logs by going to the very end there and sort of pushing that end log out of the way and ducking underneath of that rope. From what I've read, you are allowed to paddle here. And like I said before, I'm pretty sure those logs are for keeping debris from floating down here as opposed to from keeping people out. So as you can see, like I had hoped, things are a lot calmer here. Not really any waves on the water, and got the whole place to myself. Over there on the left is our badly deteriorating Gardner Expressway, which has Lakeshore Boulevard running underneath of it. I made a video last year where I rode my bike along that section of roadway. So up ahead you can see I've got 2 more log lines that I need to be able to get over top of, but once I'm through there I should be into the Don, and it should be smooth paddling the rest of the way. You can see the logs are doing their job of keeping all this debris from floating into that very congested corner there. Alright, so I was able to pass through those two gaps there, and I'm now on the other side of those logs, and I should be able to head my way up that way now. And the reason why I called this the Congested Corner here is because apparently right now when there's a storm, lots of sticks flow down the Don and they get stuck here, and it causes the Don to back up and flood. And that's part of the reason why they're building that new island that I was talking about, to give the Don a more natural flow where it isn't forced to take such a sharp turn. Anyway, here I make my way underneath of Lakeshore Boulevard East up the Don River. This bridge here carries a leg of the waterfront trail across the Don River, and I made a video a few weeks ago where I rode my bike across that bridge. There you can see some cyclists riding up the lower Don Trail, and this bridge here carries the GO trains on the Lakeshore East line. I've certainly traveled across that bridge many times. And over there running next to us, we've got the Don Valley Parkway Highway. This here is an old bridge that's no longer in use. I think it probably used to carry trains, but I'm not sure about that. So I'm just stopping for a quick water break here underneath of the shade from the Eastern Avenue Bridge, and I just figure really important to stay hydrated today because it is quite hot. And I've noticed as I've sort of come more inland and like there's, you know, things are a lot more calm, and that's because there's no wind, so things definitely feel a lot hotter up here. I've been seeing lots of people riding down the lower Don Trail over there, which is something that I did recently and made a video showing. This next bridge up ahead is Queen Street, and there you can see a streetcar coming across it. So as you can see, lots more flat water up ahead, and from what I understand, it should be like this pretty much all the way up to Bloor, but beyond there might be some rapids, so I'm not exactly sure how far I'll be able to make it today, but we'll see when we get there. So I'm now just about at the Dundas Street Bridge, and the next one that you can see in the distance is Gerrard Street. I've been certainly finding this an interesting experience. If you're the sort of person who likes, you know, water that's perfectly clear and lots of wildlife and stuff, well, the Don River probably isn't for you, but if you're the sort of person who likes to take the road less traveled and experience things that few others have experienced, I definitely think that the Don River would be a lot of fun as long as you don't mind a little traffic noise. In contrast to this, last month I paddled down the Humber River, and I imagine on a day like today there would be hundreds of other paddlers who would be out there. But so far, I got the entire Don River to myself today. It looks like the Gerrard Street Bridge is currently under construction. The next bridge that I'll have up ahead is the Riverdale Park one. So I've almost reached Riverdale Park now, but that last little section that I was paddling back there was quite a bit more challenging than what I've been doing so far. The water got really shallow, except for a couple of parts that were deep, so I had to kind of pick my line, but the parts where it was deep, there was quite a bit of current that I had to fight against, which is, you know, wasn't that difficult, but compared to the flat water I'd been paddling on before then, it was a little bit more tricky. So back there is the bridge for the Lower Don Trail, which I've ridden my bike across many times, and this next bridge up ahead is for the Belleville subdivision of the CP rail line. And it looks like I might have some obstacles up ahead there. There are certainly lots of sticks and things that have collected here, but it looks like I should still be able to get through up there. So from here the river breaks away from the Don Valley Parkway, and you can see it looks like a much more natural sort of a river. Although the odor emanating from that sewer pipe over there is pretty unpleasant, so I'll be glad to be past it. So as I round the corner here, things are starting to look a little bit more man-made again. Up ahead you can see that bridge, which is the Bloor Viaduct Bridge, which we'll hopefully be able to get all the way to today. I just made it up another section there where things were shallow and there was a lot of current. Of course, it would have been easier if I had just gotten out and walked, but I like to challenge myself if I can to see if I can make it up without having to get out. But I was able to find on the far right there was some deep water and I could fight up through the current, and now I'm up here. So up there is the Prince Edward Viaduct Bridge, which was built more than 100 years ago, and there you can see the Line 2 subway train that crosses underneath of the main road deck of it. And below the bridge you can see there's another section where things are shallow and the current is strong. That should be another challenge for me to get through. So unfortunately I wasn't able to find a pathway through there that I was able to paddle, so I ended up having to get out and walk, but I've managed to get the kayak up to here and I've reached my goal, which is to make it as far as Bloor. My plan from here is to continue paddling a little bit further just to see how far I can get, but if there's more sections where I have to walk, I'll probably just turn around and come back. And then my plan is to stop on this sort of island here, and I will have my lunch before I continue my way back to Cherry Beach. So from back there I've now made it up to here where there's sort of a bend in the river, and things have been a lot more deep than I was expecting, so it looks like I'll be able to keep on going. So there was the little family of ducklings that I was following as I was making my way up the river, but there's also this big white crane type bird here. But from here things seem to get pretty shallow up ahead, and I would probably need to do a lot of walking if I wanted to keep on going, so I'll choose this as my turnaround point for my adventure today. I should mention it is possible to paddle a much longer section of the Don in the spring during an event called Paddle the Don, where they open up many of the dams to let a lot more water through. Unfortunately, that event has not run the last 2 years because of the pandemic, but hopefully it would be something that I'd be able to participate in next year in 2022. So I've just paddled a bit back downstream again, and I'm going to enjoy my lunch here in the shade of the Prince Edward Viaduct Bridge. And I have to say that while I was paddling back downstream again, it felt like quite a luxury to be going with the current after paddling against it, even though it wasn't a very strong current. On the menu today, I've got some raw vegetables and a sandwich, and of course lots of water to go with it. Alright, so I'm now all refueled and ready to get back in that kayak and paddle my way back to Cherry Beach. Alright, so I've just about paddled all the way back down to the Gardner now, and I'll make my way back out through the Keating Channel, and we'll see how choppy the water is in the harbour. There certainly is a lot of debris floating in this part of the river here. Some of it's garbage, but a lot of it's just sticks. Alright, so here I am now back at the new Cherry Street Bridge, and you can definitely see that it's choppier out there in the harbour. Yep, I've definitely got some wavy paddling to do. I'm heading back to Cherry Beach over that way, which pretty much will be straight into those waves. Alright, so I made it back to the Outer Harbour here, and you can see quite a few kites up in the air from kite boarders, and I'm sure they're appreciating all the strong wind and big waves. I found paddling through the harbour back there where it was so choppy, pretty slow going. It was basically just sort of up and down and big waves that were kind of splashing over my deck and everything like that. But this kayak is well suited for it. It seems to be very stable. It's got the big flat bottom, so I think it would be pretty hard for it to tip over. And with the splash skirt, all those big waves that came over the bow, they just, you know, the water didn't go inside, which is nice. Here I am back at Cherry Beach. So after a quick swim at the beach, I've got my kayak now loaded back up on the trailer, and I'm ready to begin my journey from here back home again. On my way home, of course, I'm crossing over the old Cherry Street Bridge, which is where I paddled underneath of earlier today, and if I look this way, you can also see the new Cherry Street Bridge over there. Definitely a different perspective from up here. Alright, so me, my bike, and the kayak have made it back here to my neighborhood. I hope you enjoyed joining me on this adventure paddling up the Don. If you watched this video all the way to the end, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.